Yahoo and welcome back to my channel, everyone. My name is Mara and today I have a very special video for you guys because this is a video response to a video that a friend of mine made. His name is Robert Hofmann. He is basically one of the most popular movie critics here in Germany, and he made a video about the movies that are not necessarily his favorite movies of all time, but he talked about the movies that influenced his life and definitely left a mark on him. So that's what I'm going to do today. If that sounds interesting to you, keep watching. So, like I said, let's talk about the movies that influenced my life. I have a feeling that this video might be quite long because I'm going through a bunch of different movies. So get a tea, get a coffee, or whatever type of drink you would like to have, maybe some snacks or cookies, and let's get straight into it. I don't have a specific number. I just, when I was watching Robert's video, I had movies popping into my head left and right. So I made a few notes and actually even rewatched some of the movies because specifically the movie from my childhood, which was, besides some Disney movies, was The Land Before Time. If you don't know that movie, maybe you would like to check that out as well, because for me, I could definitely learn a lot from this movie, and especially from the friendship that Littlefoot, Ducky, Petrie, and Sarah had. The movie has a special place in my heart. It was not necessarily the first children's movie that I've watched, but I definitely vividly remember how many times I watched it at my dad's place and also at my mom's place, and watching it together with my brother, who is one of my brothers that is 3 years younger than me. You have seen him in my podcast video where we talked about gaming and stuff like that. So anyways, we definitely watched the movie a couple of times together, and definitely one of the things that I remember so vividly is one of the quotes that I took out of that movie, which was, "Some things you don't see with your eyes, but with your heart." And that is something that stuck with me. Basically, there were a couple of situations in my life where I definitely trusted my gut and listened to my heart instead of my mind, my brain, that kept telling me other things or otherwise. I think a lot of people might relate to that. So this movie also taught me something very, very important for my life, which is we are all equal. It doesn't matter which background you have, which ethnicity you have, or which gender, what you identify with or as, and age doesn't matter, all this kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. We are all the same, and that is something that is very, very important for me. I definitely do not care about all that type of stuff. Yeah, and I also try to teach people that if I see people who are racist or people who are judging other people, trying to put them in a box, I always try to tell people that it doesn't matter, So be kind to one another, help each other out, support each other, lift each other up. Don't put other people down or violate them or whatever. We can all be friends or at least be friendly with each other. Help each other out if you can. Most of the times it doesn't even cost you anything, maybe a little bit of time, maybe a little bit of your energy. But in general, just be kind to one another. Something else that this movie taught me was definitely that we have different, situations in life. We have good times, happy times, but also life and therefore death is part of life. It is definitely okay to be sad sometimes and to mourn a loved one, a friend, or whatever. But I think we do have to learn to deal with different types of situations, and we have to come out at the other end of it, basically. We shouldn't be sad all the time. There's always ups and downs in life. So basically, we just have to learn how to get through those difficult times. But on the other hand, something that I also learned from this movie is that teamwork is important and that we can all achieve more if we help each other out sometimes and lift each other up, like I said. So we are stronger together, So that's maybe something you should consider in some situations in life. And the last thing, but definitely not the least thing that this movie taught me was that it's also okay to have flaws. And, we are not perfect. Definitely. Nobody is perfect. And that's okay. We should accept that and just try to better ourselves in, the sense that if we don't like something about ourselves, not because other people told us, but because we don't feel good about that, then we should strive to become the better version of ourselves. I also feel that this movie definitely taught me that it's okay, accept people for who they are, for what they do, for what they believe in, and don't judge people. So that was definitely a lot of talking for the first movie. And the next movie or movies are something that we all possibly grew up with, which is Disney movies. I have picked 3 Disney movies that definitely popped into my head when I was watching Robert's video. For him, it was The Lion King. For me, it's definitely Beauty and the Beast, Dumbo, and The Jungle Book. Those are my 3 movies. So, The Beauty and the Beast, being the first movie that I would like to talk about, that movie definitely taught me that it is not necessarily important how you look like. Of course, when we first meet someone, we only see the exterior, basically, so the looks. But it's even more important what's in other people's heart. That's what I feel. I mostly connect with people on a different level. For me, it's important that people make me laugh, that I feel safe and comfortable around people, and that I'm not being judged or whatever. So that's definitely something that's important for me. And in that sense, also get to know people, because everybody has some type of baggage, maybe from childhood or from teenage years or whatever. You don't know what's going on in people's hearts and minds. So get to know them, talk to them, ask several different questions, spend time with them. People can love you anyways. Specifically, when they get to know you, you shouldn't listen to mostly anything other people say about you or about other people. Don't listen to rumors. Get to know people and make up your own mind, And the movie definitely also taught me that you can't trust everybody. Please remember what happened when Belle went back into the village and asked the people for help. We all know the story, so I think I don't have to get into that. But what that definitely taught me was that you, like I said, can't trust everybody. Most of the times people do have their own agenda, and you need to be selective of the people that you let into your life, into your inner circle, and you need to protect yourself and your life and things or people that are important to you. So that means be especially protective of your family, friends, relationships, and your business if you have one, Not everybody has the best intentions. So definitely protect that stuff. The movie, and specifically one character, which was Gaston, he was definitely responsible for the fact that I really developed a huge dislike towards people that are arrogant, that treat other people like from a pedestal down, if that's the correct way of saying that. So also superficial people, who put you in a box, don't even try to get to know you and stuff like that. So that's definitely Gaston's fault. The next movie is Dumbo. Fun fact, my favorite animals are elephants. I 100% identify with Dumbo because he was the outsider within the family, of elephants in the circus. He was also mostly on his own. People didn't understand him, people judged him, and he had to deal with most of his life, most of his problems by himself. So I definitely could relate to that even when I was younger. And I also learned that people will be mean to you if you are different most of the times because they are scared of what they don't understand and they don't like change, So you definitely have to overcome that. First of all, you have to understand and accept that and then overcome it. And again, stay true to yourself, Just be yourself and don't give a what other people think about you. I also quickly understood that it was not okay that they treated Dumbo the way that they did. So basically it taught me at a very young age that bullying is not okay. We should not do that. It's still a very big problem in our society. My other brother was definitely bullied a lot in school and kindergarten, and I hated it. I wanted to hurt those people. I know that's not right, but because, of course, I love my brother and I wanted to protect him. The movie also taught me that it's important to have good friends that love you for the way that you are, that don't want you to change, and who support you and lift you up and try to help you, get through difficult times and stuff like that. And it also forged my strong sense of justice and being fair and being kind to one another, as well as fighting against injustice and helping people that are weaker maybe than others, and help each other out and lift each other up and make life easier for other people. If you see injustice, if you see people being bullied, say something, do something, because that's not okay. So the last Disney movie that I would like to talk about is The Jungle Book. And I have fond memories of The Jungle Book because sometimes in summer we used to have open air cinemas, basically, where they showed several different movies. And I remember in my childhood, we went with my whole family, basically my mom and all my siblings, and we went to the open air cinema and we watched The Jungle Book every year for I think 2-3 years in a row, maybe more. Definitely a good memory because I love The Jungle Book. It's just such a great movie with amazing music, amazing songs that I still love to sing. And it reinforced my love for elephants. And I have to say, Colonel Harty, which is what he was named in the German version of The Jungle Book, he has to be one of my favorite characters. He's just, I don't know, so special. And I have to say, for the real life version that they did, I'm quite mad that they didn't put the elephants in there at all. I mean, you could hear them stomping around, but that's just it. Something was definitely missing in this movie, in the real life version. So I didn't like that. But in general, I have to say, I love so many characters from The Jungle Book. I'm not even sure which one is my favorite from this particular movie. Colonel Harty, of course, is definitely one of them. I also love Baloo, and I loved King Louie. And I don't know, I love so many characters from this movie. It's just, I also definitely want to mention The Never-Ending Story. I love all of the movies, but I have to say they didn't really hold up that well. I recently watched some clips on YouTube from the movies, and I have to say, they look quite bad. But I mean, it's a childhood memory, so I'm okay with that. The movie definitely scarred me a little bit because I have to say, when we lost Artax, it was very traumatic for me. It's not a movie that I definitely can watch over and over and over again, but it's definitely a good, memory from my childhood as well. Now we are getting into some of the movies that are not that much of a good memory from my childhood or teenage years. The first one being Jaws. I think Robert talked about it as well. Jaws is iconic, of course, because of the movie. The effects, I mean, we don't have to talk about that. And also we don't have to talk about the quite bad shark model that they had. But I was definitely one of the people that watched this movie way too early. I have even no idea what age I was at when I watched it with my cousins. I'm not sure how old I was. Maybe 8, 9? I don't know, maybe even younger. I'm definitely not sure. I can't recall. I do know that I was with my brother and my dad at my uncle's house, and my 2 cousins were around the same age. One of them was a little bit older than me, I think. Yeah, it was in the evening, and we just were in their rooms and watching movies, and then there was Jaws, and it was kind of, scary for me. And a different type of scarring, traumatic version is definitely something that I do enjoy, though, which is A Nightmare on Elm Street. Who doesn't love Freddy Krueger? I certainly like watching the movies, but the fact that he is coming for you in your dreams, trying to kill you, is something that is very, very traumatic for me, so I can't watch these movies by myself, let alone in the dark. I have to say, I definitely enjoy watching horror movies, still do. Back when I was younger, in my teenage and 20s, I think, years, I was able to watch those at night by myself in my dark room. I didn't even care. I mean, I was always easily influenced by movies, I have to say. And watching horror movies always kind of messed with my mind and with my fantasy. So I remember that back in the old house that we were living at, when I was watching movies downstairs in the living room and I had to go up into my room afterwards, that was hella scary for me. I always jumped up the stairs and ran up the stairs because we did have stairs that were kind of open, So I was always in my mind thinking that someone would be under the stairs and would be grabbing my feet, and that's why I dashed up the stairs like a crazy person. But I feel like I was not that sensitive to horror movies back then. Now I can watch horror movies, but I either have to do that during the day when there's the light and the sunshine from outside, or when I watch them at night or in the evening when it's dark, I have to lit my whole room, which is of course kind of protecting me from seeing monsters in every corner of my room. And I also do have to cleanse my mind afterwards, which means if I finished watching a horror movie, I definitely need additional 2 hours before I go to sleep. I definitely have to watch a funny movie afterwards that distracts my mind from the terrible things that I've seen in the horror movies. And I definitely have to listen to one of my childhood audiobooks, basically stories that can kind of, distract me when I'm falling asleep from thinking about the monsters again when I'm sleeping. Because I definitely know that it happened to me several times where I was watching a horror movie and I went to bed and I was dreaming about those freaking monsters, and it definitely scared the shit out of me. So yeah, I definitely had nightmares afterwards. So that's why I learned from that, and I'm doing it differently now. The next few movies are definitely some Leonardo DiCaprio movies. I was deeply in love with him when I was a teenager. My whole room was plastered with pictures and posters from magazines of him. One of the movies that definitely means a lot to me is the Baz Luhrmann version of Romeo and Juliet, where Leonardo was my Romeo. And I watched this movie so many times. Basically, every day after school, I watched the movie at least once up to 3 times after school every day for a couple of weeks. So, of course, I watched the German version and I know the whole script. I was crazy for that movie, and I still am, because I definitely love the performance of Leonardo, and the soundtrack is just so good. Everything is so good, the colors and everything. Ugh, such a good movie. Another set of movies from Leo that I would definitely like to recommend to you are Gilbert Grape. If you haven't seen it, definitely missed out. It's such a good movie, such a good performance of him. I still do not understand why, at that age, with that performance, he didn't get an Oscar. I do feel it took way too long for him to get an Oscar with The Revenant, and he definitely deserved an Oscar for Gilbert Grape. He definitely deserved an Oscar for his performance in The Basketball Diaries. In Germany, it was called Jim Carroll, in the Streets of New York or something like that. And also This Boy's Life with Robert De Niro. Amazing performance as well. But I definitely have to say the movie of those three that stuck with me and meant something to me in some sense is definitely The Basketball Diaries, because seeing him like that in the movie, whew, that's definitely something. He did such an amazing job. I do know that he also spent a lot of time with people who've been struggling with addiction, and he learned a lot from that. That's how he prepared for this role, and his performance basically helped me not wanting to ever try chemical drugs. I fear that the second that I tried anything, basically, I would get addicted and I would have to go through the same stuff that he went through in the movie, and I was scared shitless. So that's why I never tried any drugs. So thank you very much, Leo, for, keeping me away from that stuff, basically. Now let's take a turn topic-wise, I would say, because the next two movies are related to the topic of mental health and depression and stuff like that, and people who are struggling with those types of problems. The first movie of those two is definitely the 1998 movie What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams. It is a drama, and like I said, it has the topic of mental health, being suicidal or having suicidal thoughts and depression and stuff like that. This whole movie is just such an art piece. It has such a great look. The colors, the way that they shot the movie, and the special effects in some parts as well. I mean, you have to see it. If you don't know the movie, please watch it. It is, I think, such an important movie to watch, especially regarding the whole mental health topic. It's just so good. Also, the script is so good. It is such an important topic still today. I mean, the movie is from 1998 and it's 2022 almost, and we are still at a point in society where people still don't understand mental health problems and illnesses and don't accept them. You're being outcasted if you have it, if you're struggling with it, especially in the business field. I do definitely know that because, my own experience with my former company and also with the company that I am with right now. People don't give a about mental health issues. It doesn't matter for the company, you have to function, and they don't understand that it doesn't matter if your body is sick in the sense of you have a broken arm or you have a cold or whatever, and if your mind is sick, it's the same thing. You are sick, So people definitely judge you for it, and I definitely did not open up to my company about my depression and my struggles, because you guessed it, I definitely know from the way that they are behaving that they don't care. And if I would tell them, they would probably fire me. So yeah, that's why I am not really that open about it, which is also not good, because I always feel that I can't be 100% authentic and myself, because, like I said, I have to hide something. So that's just a side note. I'm sorry, back to the movies. The second movie regarding the whole mental health topic is definitely The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. And I feel he did a great performance in this movie. He is a method actor, so it was kind of shocking to see him the way that he looked in the movie. He was very skinny and stuff like that. And I do know that he took a lot of time preparing for this movie. And I also know that a lot of people criticized him for his performance. Still, I do feel it's an important movie. It's a good movie. I definitely enjoyed that they made this movie and it was so successful, because that way people started talking about the whole topic. And I think it's important. So that's why I also talk about it on my channel. I will definitely in the future do more mental health videos, but you have to understand that those types of videos are not something that I can just sit down and film. First of all, I do have to feel in the mood, so to speak, to talk about that kind of stuff. And also, I would like to talk to you about the difficult times that I have and how I get through them. So basically, the videos will probably be about me in a situation where I am struggling with my mental health. So since that is not every day, every week, every month, it comes and goes and it doesn't really announce itself. So anyways, I will do more videos on that, but I can't promise you how regular these videos are going to be. The last type of movie trilogy, or actually like it's 6 movies, I guess, that I would like to talk about is, of course, The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies. I don't know how to say that. I am definitely a Tolkien fanatic. I've read the books, I've seen the movies several times. I always rewatch the movies still, and I'm talking about the extended versions. I recently showed the movies, the Lord of the Ring movies, to my friend Julie, and I couldn't believe when she told me that she tried to watch them, but she didn't like them. Or I'm not sure what she said again, because in the end she had to watch them again with me. I made her watch them, and she actually enjoyed them, I think. Another friend of mine, she also said she watched The Lord of the Rings and she fell asleep. How is that even possible? I have strong feelings about The Lord of the Rings, specifically, and the Hobbit movies. Quick hello from the post-production Mara here. I realized that I haven't really talked about the reasons why I love the Lord of the Rings movies so much. Of course, if you've seen the movies, you know about all those beautiful sceneries and the settings and the New Zealand landscapes and everything. But especially if we think about the fact that the first movie came out in 2001, which is over 20 years ago, the special effects and everything that they did held up pretty well. In general, the script and everything is pretty close to the books as well, and Peter Jackson in general just did an amazing job with the movies. Also very, very fond memories, because I watched the Hobbit movies with my siblings in cinemas, and I made lembas bread, which is the elven bread, if you don't know. I found a recipe on the internet and I made it and took it to the cinemas, and we were just eating our lembas bread. It was just, it's just a good memory. But what I didn't like was the cliffhanger that they left us at, and that we had to wait another year. I definitely do have the digital extended editions. I bought them on Apple, and I also have the DVDs. I bought them in the regular edition, And a few years later, because my boyfriend told me that he never watched Lord of the Rings, and I couldn't accept that. And since he's Japanese and he doesn't really understand like the old English way that they speak in the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies, I made it my mission to buy the extended editions in Japan on DVD so that we would have Japanese subtitles. And I made him watch all of the 6 movies in the extended version, and let me tell you that he enjoyed them, but he's not as crazy about the movies as I am. I can live with that. He watched the movies, he enjoyed them, it's okay. Not everybody has to be a Tolkien fanatic and a Lord of the Rings fanatic as I am. I'm definitely interested in the show that they are producing right now. I'm a little bit skeptic, I have to say, because Peter Jackson did such an amazing job with these movies, and I'm kind of scared that he... Anyways, I'm not going to get into that. But those were basically the movies that mean a lot to me, that influenced me in different ways. And yeah, I guess for today, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, even though it is quite long, and I hope you will leave me comments below telling me about your not favorite movies. You can also tell me about your favorite movies, but I would like to hear your thoughts on the movies that influenced your life and that left a mark on you. Please type away, leave me long comments or whatever, I don't care. Please, please, please just comment down below. I'm very, very interested to hear what you have to say. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, I do have 2 Instagram accounts. The first one is linked below. It's called kotatsu.talk. That is my official YouTube Instagram account. But I do also have another separate Instagram account for all my Ivy Park and Beyonce related stuff, which is bootylicious_hive. I know, definitely not related to this video, but I definitely wanted to mention it as well. And for today, guys, that's it. I hope you have a wonderful week, a wonderful weekend, and as always, stay real, keep it real, and bye-bye.